So he's not really in danger of being supply locked anytime soon. He also has this Dark Shrine, so that's interesting. This high yield expansion is very nicely fortified. He needs to get that observer that he has in play over here to scout out these banshees, and don't think I can find that for you on the map right now. Regardless, it's not in the base just yet, and it doesn't have that improved movement speed. There now is the observer, so these banshees are going to be jeopardized, but not before they do a lot of damage to this mineral line. So here now come the stalkers, backed up by these Metalisks, and they're probably going to wipe out those Metalisk Marines. Meanwhile, over here we have these Marines, just actually pure Marines with no upgrades, and these two Thors are going to be pushing this high-end expansion right here. So a pretty significant force here from my ally, taking down these roaches. This photon cannon is just now going to be attacking back, and here it looks like my Banshee strike has been quelled at Red's base. Spliffy actually doing a pretty good job taking out that cannon, taking out that pylon, making short work of that stalker as those Thors just decimated. But right now we have some zealot support trying to protect this cannon. What Spliffy needs to be doing is he needs to use this strike cannon ability on this photon cannon to really just obliterate it instantly, as it does plenty of damage to take that out pretty quick. He's got three Thors here, so if he was making better use of those strike cannons, he would definitely be able to take out this high yield expansion much quicker. Meanwhile, I'm trying to keep the pressure up with these banshees, not microing them ideally, as they're just kind of wailing on these unit-producing buildings instead of trying to go for probes or pylons or something a little more valuable. But right now, here comes the observer. These banshees are forced to pull back. I've got two more over here that I possibly forgot about, or I'm just not microing properly. But anyway, right now I'm operating off of 2 starports. This is a reactor coming out now. I'm going to be soon operating off of 4 starports, as I plan on pumping out Vikings to try to take care of those Metalisks. But speaking of Metalisks, these guys have completely taken out the SCVs from my partner's base. His command center is in danger of burning, and only now, we have some Marines over here to try to defend his base. These Metalisks are pulling back. I don't know why they are. They could have definitely done some more damage. But now this Thor is going to push into the high-yield expansion base, and it's going to be threatening this Nexus. But there is only one of them, and now all these Marines, Zealots and Stalkers are going to be coming in with the aid of one Dark Templar, and they're going to be taking down this Thor pretty quick. So at this point, I'm trying to mass up some more air units, trying to make better use of the army that I do have. I'm now taking this high yield expansion. I'm also operating off of this high ground, but there is an observer here watching over this planetary fortress. I also have a planetary fortress here, and I hear some Banshees in combat. Don't know where they are, but anyway, here is a group of Metalisks. They have completely stopped mining at my opponent's main base. So taking a look at income, 0 income from Spliffy. That's not going to help our team at all. We're definitely in a lot of trouble. So sending in these Vikings and Banshees to try to maybe do some damage to the Zerg base, but he has a pretty nicely positioned 2 spine crawlers actually that are going to take down that one Banshee. This other Banshee is forced to pull back, and he's probably going to get some drone kills over here from those drone kills. Yeah, the Banshees are going to get those drone kills. I've landed in my factory here, trying to make use of it, spitting out some Hellions. No point really. This missile turret just going up in time, but these Metalisks are going to take that out pretty nice. Yeah, forced to pull those SCVs back. They're in a lot of trouble. And at this point, Red and Blue definitely have regained map control. They've got this one Dark Templar in play. He did invest in that Dark Templar tech, but he only really has one in play. I wish I knew what the hotkey for unit count is. Yeah, so it's U. Taking a look at unit count, Spliffy has no army whatsoever. That's not a good thing. He's trying to lift off his base and fly to the safety of my end of the map. But yeah, myself, I've got a bunch of Vikings in ground mode. Yeah, they're now flying across the map here to try to maybe clean up these Zerglings. And yeah, definitely a large army from the Zerg player, mostly drones actually. He's got 37 drones and just an infantry force from the Protoss player. So yeah, this fleet of buildings is he's gonna wall off my natural expansion here, which is now just starting to land. These Vikings are able to take out that War Prism. without even needing any micro, really. They just auto-attacked it to death. This group of Zerglings is going to see this retreating barracks, probably going to speculate as to where it's going, but they're also going to meet this planetary fortress, which gets one Zergling kill. These Vikings are probably going to be forced to land. Yeah, there they go. They're going to land, they're going to clean up those Zerglings pretty nice. Actually, yeah, the factory lifts off, and the Zerglings come in range of the planetary fortress, which gets all 9 Zerglings with that splash damage, and it does its job pretty nice. So I am allowed to keep mining from that high yield expansion. In the meantime, though, Little B and FTB, the Zerg player, have been allowed to mass up an army without any real pressure. They've been able to push away my Banshees with these observers and spore colonies. So right now, yeah, they got all these Hydralisks and Mutalisks. It's not a very threatening army. I mean, at this stage in the game, when really see almost all the expansions are being used, they have no reason not to help themselves to this guy right here, and also this natural expansion. That would really allow them to pump tier 3 units and have an even more devastating army. But yeah, you can see the army sizes right now for what they are. I'm trying to do some damage here with my air fleet. They're going to encounter all these Stalkers, cloaking these Banshees, those Stalkers taking out those Vikings. The Vikings now seeing no air opposition. They're going to go into their ground mode. They have that 1 attack upgrade, so they actually do a pretty decent amount of damage. And now they need to go back into their air mode to try to take down these Mutalisks. I'm sure they will do just that. Taking down that support base, so no Colossus are going to be coming out. No upgrades for the Observer either will be allowed to be researched. Some more Banshees coming in, going to be taking out that pylon. The Observer is still here, so yeah, able to take down that pylon, but down goes all of those Banshees. At least I was able to distract the opposition for the time being. These air units have been rallied here, and they're not being microed at all. They're just going to be wasted completely. Big mistake on my part. So yeah, our enemies definitely have map control here, and things start to tip in the opposition's favor as they're just going to walk into this high yield expansion. This missile turret doing a good job of taking down those Mutalisks, but this planetary fortress, I should have repaired it with all these SCVs, but I don't know if it would have made a difference, as there's just a lot of firepower here from our opposition, and you can see all of their units just streaming across the map. While my ally is trying to operate off of this natural expansion here at my base, he just really doesn't have any units in play. So I've got this Congo. Yeah, I think at this point another foolish mistake in the long list of foolish mistakes that I made in this game is I control grouped my SCVs accidentally, so I moved a bunch of them over to this position of the map. It could also be due to the fact that I've just mined myself out. I think it was more of that, but I could have transferred them over here or just made better use of them. Anyway, at this point, another reason for my mistakes, or my abundance of mistakes, is just because there's just so much stress and pressure all over the map. I move these Vikings in, I take down some of these Zealots, and some of those probes as well, but yeah, what FTB and Little B do pretty well is they have a good amount of units all over the map in key positions in order to defend or attack at opportune times. I'd like to see some more upgrades on our units. Only FTB has that 1 attack upgrade on those Hydralisks, but either way they're probably going to take this game. My air units now have 1 attack upgrade and 1 armor upgrade. I'm trying to intercept these units in transition, but all of these Mutalisks are going to take down what little forces I had. Here come these Stalkers. They're just all going to congregate here on this high yield expansion that I lost. And you can see that the FTB is operating off of Lair Tech, and Red is operating off of all of these warp gates, probably just planning on pumping Stalkers, which he is doing pretty nicely. So the Protoss and Zerg are going to be moving into position and just clearing out buildings at this point. As you can see, we don't have a lot of units in play. I am gas starved. My Vespene geysers have been pretty much taken out by my opponents, or our enemies I should say, cancelling that command center, and yeah, not much we can do to resist this very large Stalker heavy and Zerg heavy force. As you can see, they're just chasing down these Hellions, which are just going to be sacrificing themselves. A little bit of proximity pylon here to provide psi so they can warp in additional units, just as insurance. Never hurts to do that. Blink is now ready on those Stalkers. You haven't seen it very much in this game. It apparently was used right there to blink into my planetary fortress, but yep, some cusses coming out from my ally. He knows what's going to happen. We are definitely going to lose this game. Just kind of a gratuitous blink right there into my SCV line. But yeah, not much we can do. There's a small group of Marines here, but it's just they are going to pretty much die. No other way to say it. I call it a good game. I thought it was a good game, in the sense at least that there was lots of action around the map, a pretty decent unit count, and yeah, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but the sad truth of this game was that my ally got taken out pretty early, and he had no